everyone, this is Shannon from Vibe Resonate. So this video that I'm going to do today here is about, it's actually a recreation of an old blog post I made probably about 5 years ago. And unfortunately I lost that blog post when I crashed my website. And I'm going to say, yes, I crashed the website. It wasn't deliberate, I just don't know what I did. Anyhow, I was really disappointed when I lost this blog post, and it was a post that I could actually send. I created it myself as an information tool for my clients. So I'm going to do this as a video format, and hopefully we won't lose it in the process once I have it up to YouTube. So anyhow, what it's about is actually, it was something, I think the original title was something like 10 or 11 things to help you know that Natural BioEnergetics is actually working. So it talks about some of the offside feelings or different things that can happen that may make you question it, but really actually is doing the opposite of what your fears are telling you. First of all, one of the things that can happen is during or even after a session, you can feel really jittery. This is kind of a neat feeling for some people. Some people don't like it. And I've actually seen it where I'm working with clients and when they're in office, and I will just say, hey, are you feeling jittery? And they go, yeah. I says, okay, I can feel it. And I says, that means it's working. Don't worry, just keep going. And that's all it is. It's just your system is going, oh, okay, there's some extra energy moving around in here. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just do a little groove here, and away it goes. Yeah, that's kind of what your body's doing, and it's kind of taking note that it's feeling something moving, and don't worry, let it go. I actually even get jittery with sometimes when I go into a massage therapist or a chiropractor or something like that. My body will just start doing that because I'm just used to doing that, you know. My body's just accustomed to allowing it to happen. I don't do it so much when I work on myself, but when others work on me, I tend to do it now. So that is a good positive thing. It means it's moving. Another thing that can happen, number 2, is you can have emotional changes. Now these can range from being really extremely happy, or you can be sobbing or really sad, or in some cases you can be like an emotional roller coaster, as one of my clients put one day. And she says, oh, and she had me worried when she said that because of the way she responded. And she said, oh no, don't worry, it's good. I know it's like this. And she wasn't a stranger to Natural BioEnergetics, but she was a new client for me. She had just moved over to this continent, and she was a new client for me. And she just she had a little bit of a sense of humor and got me going a little bit. And I was fairly new in the business then. But no, it was good. And as it all continued to work out, after a few days later, she felt much better. And you know, she had some real emotional things going on. Well, that can happen to just about anything, especially if you have some deep issues you're working with. So not to worry, it will eventually pass. Number 3, I've heard people have nightmares. Actually, I've had nightmares after a treatment. Mine have never lasted more than a night, but I've had a few people say they've come and gone off and on up to 2 weeks. I think that's a very rare case that it would last that long. But I personally have had the occasional nightmare, and sometimes other people do. If it becomes really intense, do contact me, but something's happened in there, and it might be triggering a past event or a trauma or something that might need to be dealt with. So, but that means it is dealing with it, so not to worry. One of the most common ones is nausea. Nausea is quite common, especially for a few different corrections we do, especially if you're working with allergy corrections, cellular dynamic correction, tissue energy balance correction. And I try to tell people when we're doing one of those corrections, as a rule, when I'm working with them directly. They don't always come up in the pre-recorded ones. They do on occasion, but these ones do tend, because they work at a more of a cellular level, deeper energetic level, they do tend, not all the time, maybe 10-20% of the time, just kind of trigger a little bit of nausea. That's actually a detox reaction. A detox reaction is good. Some people call it a healing crisis. That is good. You're kicking out stuff out of your body that doesn't need to be there, and that is a good sign. So if you can bear through it, some people really get sick. I get nauseated now for maybe an hour or two, and then I revert back and I'm fine. But I remember when I first started doing Natural BioEnergetics, there was one morning, I guess it was 2 o'clock in the morning, I got up after a phone distance appointment with my own instructor. And I got up, I couldn't even walk. And I got to the bathroom, and no, I didn't vomit. A lot of people do, but I dry heaved, and that was the end of it. But oh my gosh, was I sick. And I took a drink of water, and I was probably fine after that. But yeah, that it can be a side effect, and it actually is a very positive side effect, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. Another one is headaches. This will especially happen if you haven't drank enough, but headaches can be a side effect. I find them a little bit more rare, and I find them less so if I've made sure I've had enough to drink. And these two aren't always that pleasant either. Frequent urination or frequent or loose stools. And what that means is you're actually detoxing with both of those. Your body is, especially, and make sure you get enough water in to accommodate that, because what's happening is it's kicking out maybe chemicals or bad stuff that's accumulated in your body, and it's trying to start kicking it out. Now, accommodate your body and give it lots of water so it can get that crap out, because the sooner it gets it out, the better you're going to start feeling. So it's a good thing. Some people may get increased or decreased hunger. I don't think I've ever experienced that, but I have heard the occasional person do that. And dizziness can happen. I mean, I've experienced the dizziness. That time that I had that severe nausea, I had dizziness with it. It can happen. Drink some water too with that. Basically, drink water is the theme with most of it. So, but don't get alarmed if this is happening. Most of these symptoms will pass probably within a few hours. Some may take a day or two. You might get flutterbrain. It happens. I don't hear that one as much, but it can happen. Another one that can be quite common during and after a session is you can either get extreme hot flashes or extreme cold flashes. Now, yeah, all of us menopausal women are probably going, yeah, we know what that's like. Sorry, man, you're going to learn what that's like if that's going to happen to you. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to happen to you, but you're going to get a taste of what your wife is going through. So anyhow, those are just a few things. I've actually had a lot of the temperature changes too, and that was even before I started to become menopausal. And yeah, it's not pleasant, but you know, at least you know something is moving. It's not a big deal. Some people might even get flushed in the face. That's no big deal. That's just energy moving inside you. I find I get cold more than I get hot. And often when I'm working in office, I would have a blanket handy for my clients because sometimes they just start shivering. So I have to throw a blanket on them, and that's no big deal. So if you're working with me virtually and you're one of these ones that tend to get cold easy, good chance you will get cold when I start working with you. So have a blanket nearby. It's not a bad thing to have. So with all of these things, I recommend lots of water intake. I have stipulated in my first recorded video, I had a little blip about water. Water is so important. Water is important even if you're not doing natural bioenergetics. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's the main life thing. And everyone's saying, well, I can't drink water. It tastes horrible. I can't drink it. You know what? It's the wrong kind of water for you then. Seriously. And go back and read that video. You need to get some alkaline water into you. And here's a little tip. If you're really struggling, start slow, start at where you normally drink a day. So if you drink 2 glasses of water a day, start increasing every 2 or 3 days, start increasing a half a glass of water until you're up to your 8 cups a day. It is important that you get that water in. I can't stress it enough. I get violent migraines if I don't have my water intake in. And I have to say, Natural BioEnergetics is partly to blame because we always had to make sure we were hydrated when we were working with clients. But it is so utterly important. pH, the best water, if you're going to buy it off the shelf, is Fiji water. Even a higher pH than that. There's a couple things you can do if you can't get any of that. Get purified water. I like to take in a 500 ml bottle of water, which is 2 cups. I try to put a half a teaspoon of baking soda in, get aluminum free baking soda from the health food store. That helps. You can put apple cider vinegar in it, but the apple cider vinegar doesn't alkalize it, and it's kind of gross tasting. If you put too much baking soda in, it's gross tasting too. That's why I have a link in my first video where you can go to Amazon and get one of those Santivia alkaline power sticks, and it's good for 300 bottles of water. I believe it's 300 bottles of water, not cups. So, I mean, the average bottle of water is 2 cups. So you're good for a while. And you can apparently boil it and you can reactivate it a little bit. I don't know how good it is after the reactivation. I haven't really looked to find information on that. But that is a good start. I am actually looking at water purifiers right now. Kangen is apparently a really good one, but I haven't done all the research on it yet. They're a lot of money, but they do have payment programs. I might be considering getting one in the fall, but I have to have an alkaline stick, or I have to put baking soda water in, or I have to get Fiji water for myself. And I tell you, alkaline water changes even the texture of the water. It's just smoother and it goes down easier. Trust me on that. It is just different. So water, if you're not, you can also take a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. I'm not talking like the stuff in the salt lamp. It is the same stuff, but I'm talking about the edible version of it. Put a pinch of that on your tongue and then drink water, and that will help too. And yeah, just drink lots of water, and that will probably alleviate the symptoms. If they're really, really, really getting bad, do contact me, and I will do a quick check on you and see where we need to go with your permission. So yeah, I hope this gives you a little bit of information. Not to be afraid if you see these kind of changes in your body. That means something's actually happening. And don't be concerned if you don't see these changes, because I would say the majority of people don't get these unless they have a really, really, really deep correction. So not to worry if you're not feeling those things. That doesn't mean things aren't moving either. You'll learn to read your body as you go and not to worry. So we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.